Hey man, I'm gonna slap another one up. What do you think about that? Fucking stupid and crazy, huh? Yeah, I know. Alright, so this format that I do is like a dying art. It's a dying art. Not many people are doing it, especially not in the popular and trending. When I refer to popular and trending, I mostly only use BitChute, and so YouTube is a lot different in popular and trending than BitChute, because the YouTube popular and trending is a whole other level. Like dumb shit like P. Diddy, like these rap stars and stuff. They're the ones trending in YouTube, and it's not like that at all on BitChute, you know. But it's not much better, you know. It's kind of like, it's all relative, so to speak. But anyway, so this is a dying art right here, though, truly, where a person, just a Joe Blow, picks up their cell phone and just starts doing commentary, you know, doing some Joe Rogan style commentary where, look at me, I'm not famous like Joe Rogan, and I'm going to turn on the camera and point it at myself and just start talking about stuff, because I think I'm as important as Joe Rogan or any of these other fucking bozos. They're all a bunch of fucking bozos anyway. So what the fuck? Like, you know, I can mingle with the best of these cunts, you know. They got nothing on me, dude. They don't know, dude, like the shit that I've been through, these motherfuckers don't have a fucking clue about, you know. They're totally like in a completely different, on another planet and shit. So what do they know about what I'm talking about? Nothing. You know, what are they going to school me on when it comes to, you know, my expertise in my wheelhouse? They're not going to school me on shit, you know. You know, I mean, Joe Rogan could school me on fighting and shit and beat the fuck out of me, but, you know, maybe, or maybe I would just, you know, take him out before he even knew what the fuck was going on. I don't know. You know, you never know with anybody. You never know with people. You know, fighting is it's just more poison. You know, like boxing matches and these kind of things, because what they do is they encourage people to, you know, to like, you know, fight fair and stuff. Well, you know, what does it say? All is fair in love and war, you know. Like if we're gonna be getting it on like that, then there isn't gonna be no referees and rules and gloves and stuff. I mean, I carry a pocket knife everywhere I fucking go, you know. Like, what are you gonna do? You better have a gun. You better be ready. You better be ready to one up me, man. And who knows, you know, David and Goliath and shit, motherfucker. You know, you ever heard the story David and Goliath? You know, you never can tell with people. You never want to underestimate your opposition. Always be careful with that. You know? But anyways, no, I got nothing against Joe Rogan, whatever. Except that, you know, really he's just another bozo on the bus like me and you and everybody else. So why not just act like I'm as important as Joe Rogan? I'm going to turn on the camera. I'm just going to start talking about stuff because I'm so charismatic and important and wonderful. So here we go. Welcome, right? Anyways, this art form, this format of doing videos is a totally dying art. Like it's like going extinct really fast. And so every once in a while, you know, like I said, Gypsy Fox, there's a couple of them out there, and they're harder and harder to find anymore. You know, as the discussions on internet and narratives on the internet get more and more dominated by the superstars, the modern day superstars, you know, since everything has changed now that mainstream media has been exposed to be a big fraud, and all those Holly weirdos, they all just suck, and it's all getting exposed, and everybody's finding out all these Holly weirdos and all these other stars, they all just suck. Just like everybody else. They're just shitty people that suck like everybody else. There's nothing special about them. Now that that's getting exposed, they have a new illusion. It's called the internet. See, all these internet stars, they're way different than the Hollywood stars, you know, because why? Nobody knows. Nobody can explain it. It's just like, oh, it's just because that's why. Don't you know? You know. So these internet stars, they're just as shitty and lame as all these Hollywood stars and stuff. And all these, you got these masses of people that think that this is so different. The internet's so different than mainstream media. It's all a big joke. And so all you can do is laugh. That's all there is left to do, because you can't convince. It's easier to fool someone than it is to convince them that they're being fooled. And all the internet is one big scam, one big sleight of hand, pig in a poke, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same bullshit, you know, as mainstream media. It's so fucking dumb that people haven't caught on to this yet. And by the time people do, it won't be for another 10, 20 years. So anybody like me that's caught on, we're just going to be looked at as crazies and conspiracy theorists and tinfoil hat wearing, blah, 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 and all this stuff, right? So anyhow, getting to my point here. Oh yeah, the art of what I'm doing, where you just turn on a camera and you just start talking, blah, 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 doing commentary, and it's a totally lost art. It's like practically extinct. There's hardly anybody that does it, which is why I like Gypsy Fox. And the ones that do it, I'm going to tell you, this is the rule. This is totally the rule. The ones that do this format like I'm doing right now, the more subscribers they have, like if they have fucking 500,000 subscribers, they suck. They suck. They're never going to be real with you. They're always going to be fake, because it's all about telling the audience what their audience wants to hear. So if they have a small subscriber base, then they're not going to be just telling their audience what their audience wants to hear. They're going to be like being real and talking about real shit. And so you can get a real perspective rather than a fake one. And I mean, hey, it's just me, but I prefer listening to someone give me a real honest take on something, as opposed to somebody who's just being fake to try to appease and impress the masses and their hordes of followers. So low subscribership, good. High subscribership, bullshit. 100% bullshit. They're only telling their audience what their audience wants to hear. Whereas if they don't really have an audience, or their audience is just like, whatever, it's not 50,000 subscribers or some crazy bullshit, or 50 million subscribers, or whatever the fuck it is that's going on. You know, those guys, they're just all bullshitters. And so that's the rule. Okay. So back to the dying art of this, you know, it's hard to find anymore, which is really sad, because, you know, everything's fake. You know, everybody's fake and putting up pretenses and very superficial to gain subscribers and views and likes. So it's hard to find channels where they're not doing that, where they're not just trying to get clickbaity and impress gain followers and get clicks and views, because they can make another $4,000 a year if they just reach that, you know, if they just get 10,000 more followers, you know, and so they're just pushing for it, and they'll say and do whatever they can to get that extra subscribers so that they got the more everything coming in. It's all bullshit, right? And so anyways, I spend a lot of my time like trying to find, you know, just channels like mine, and they're nowhere. They're totally nowhere. They're practically completely extinct. Every once in a while, one might, you know, pop up, but usually not. Okay. And so I was watching this one, and it's a questionable channel. It's one of these that's questionable, which they're very rare, but the questionable ones are out there. And then he's talking about stuff, and I click on his because it has a similar format, and he's kind of on the cusp of, is this guy a sellout and shit, or a shill, or something, some weird psyop guy, or is he real? So every once in a while I'll watch him, and he was talking about, you know, how everybody's going crazy, like the fucking whole world, everybody's going crazy, right? And I fit in that category. See, it didn't used to be that big of a deal. Remember those bumper stickers and shirts that said "normal people scare me"? See, it used to not be that big of a deal to be a little bit crazy. You know, like that Seal song. How's that Seal song go about being crazy? You know, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. You know, now though, it's like, oh, fuck, if you're a little crazy, man, watch out. They're coming to get you, man. If it isn't the institution coming to get you, it's the fucking mob coming to get you, because now everybody thinks they're fucking, now everybody can just automatically diagnose a person without they don't have to have any kind of education in psychology or anything. Like, if they think you're crazy, well, then you're crazy, and they're going to come after you, because we're getting tired of all these crazy people in the world, right? So this guy's kind of talking about this shit, and he's kind of going off on the deep end, you know, which I do. You can see I do. But I would never advocate for harming, you know. I might be crazy, but I would never advocate for, like, well, we really need to just harm these people because they seem like they need to be harmed, you know. Like, that's crazy. That's the kind of crazy that we need to fucking address. But just because someone is like Seal says, is a little crazy, like, who fucking cares? Normal people are scary. Did you know the majority, actually all serial killers, they're like masters at appearing normal? So what? We're going to get rid of all the people that kind of act a little crazy because we need normal people here. And then what are you going to be left with? A bunch of fucking serial killers. So this guy, man, he had me laughing a couple times, but I'm kind of like looking at this guy like, bro, I think you need to stop looking at how crazy everyone else is and start looking at yourself. And I touch on this in my videos because everything comes back to self. You know, there's this one crazy fucking tarot reader guy, okay, that I got to know. And me and him had kind of a falling out, and it was more on his end. He just got really upset with me and started getting mad. And I'm like, bro, whatever, man. I mean, fuck, if that's the way you feel, fucking okay, man. You ain't gonna hurt my feelings. And he's all pissed off and, oh, fuck you. And I just laughed. I was like, okay, whatever, dude. And I'm sure he's over it now. Like, if we ever ran into each other, he'd be like, hey, what's up, bro? You know, it's like, whatever. But anyways, I hung out with him, man. That tarot reader guy, some of these tarot readers that are really into tarot, that really have studied tarot and stuff, some of them have a lot of interesting insight into shit that you wouldn't really think, you know, unless you really sat with them and listened to them talk all their crazy tarot talk for a while. You start realizing, wow, some of this shit actually makes a lot of sense. Like, what the fuck, you know? And he's one of those. And he would talk about the mystic. When there's chaos all around, the mystic goes within. And he would say that. He would say it like this. Because with all that chaos surrounding, what it means is that it's a mirror of what's going on inside of the individual. And the mystic understands this and recognizes this. And so when there's chaos all about the mystic goes within. Right? And he starts looking at, this is what's going on within me. And all this exterior shit is just a reflection and a mirror of what is going on with me. Okay? And this is key shit. This goes into shit like know thy enemy, know thyself. A lot of people think they understand the concept, know thy enemy, know thyself. But really, it can get very deep. And that's why I like hanging out with tarot readers and some of these guys that get into this shit, because there's a lot of truth to it. There's a lot of truth. When something outside of me is disturbing me, that's the time I need to look within and look at myself. Like, what is going on with me? Why am I being disturbed by this? You know, instead of just like everything is everyone else's fault and all this stuff going on outside. You know, it's like, wait, what about what's happening with me? Am I participating in it? You know. And I love this kind of shit. Like, this gets into like spiritual philosophy stuff, which I'm like way into. Not in the sense of like, I sit here and, you know, and wear all the hippie shirts and sit in the lotus position with my fingers. Fuck all that bullshit, man. But like the basic principles and concepts is like, I love that idea. When all there's chaos outside of me, it's time to look within, man. The mystic goes within and starts looking at what is going on with me. Because we do have some control. Control is mostly an illusion, but we do have some control over ourselves. And if we start like looking inside ourselves and the decisions we've been making and where our mindset has been, how did we end up in this situation where there's chaos around us, you know? And of course, there are a lot of things like we can't control, like, for example, Israel or whatever's going on with the wars with the Palestine and fucking Israel. Like, of course, we can't control that shit. But we do have a limited amount of control of ourselves and what's going on immediately around us. And so if I'm like finding, say in a month's time, I start finding that I've got all these scumbags hanging around me all the time. And they're annoying me and shit. It's like, well, what is going on with me? Like, how did I end up associating with these people? Well, if I look back, okay, yeah, so I was talking to that one, and then I was kind of being friendly with another, and we started kind of have a friendship, even though I kind of had a sense that this person is kind of not really healthy to be around. You know, and you start looking within, and it's like, well, wait a second. Now, I allowed this shit. And so then it's time then you start looking, okay, now what can I do? I have a little bit of control over myself. So what can I do in this situation when I've got chaos around me in my direct sphere or whatever kind of shit? So I just made a pot of coffee. I'm on my second cup. I'm not a tweaker. I have whatever. Maybe it's ADHD or something. I don't know. But this is how I get. And probably I'm just isolated because I'm a hermit. And you know, I'm like a recluse hermit in a lot of ways. And so sometimes I just need to vent and get some shit out, you know. And I love coffee and I love cigarettes. I need to quit smoking. And this video is too long, so that'll be it.